In this video, I'm going to show you how to expand and simplify a quadratic equation from two binomials. So the very first step we're going to take is we're going to multiply our first term of our first binomial by the first term of the second binomial. So this would be x times x would be the very first multiplication that we would do. The second one we're going to do is take our first term of our first binomial by the second term of the second, and we're going to always add these together. So this would be a 3 times x. So we have 3 times x. And then we're going to do the same thing, but with the second term. So we're going to do the second term to the first term. So that's going to give us a 2 times x. And then we're going to do the second term to the second term. And that will give us a 2 times 3. So then we can simplify this. So x times x is going to be x squared plus 3 times x is 3x, 2 times x is 2x, plus 2 times 3 is 6. And then we simplify our middle, so we would still get x squared. So everything that has the same x term would get added together. So x squared, there is no other x squareds, so that goes by itself. And then we go plus a 3x and a 2x can be added together to get 5x. And then there's no other number with no x, so 6 stays by itself. And this would be our final answer for this question. Now, let's do a couple practice questions that'll get a little bit harder so you know what we're doing. So in this equation, it's going to be a little bit more complicated because now we have a coefficient in front of our x's. So we're just making it a little bit more complicated to let the concept sink in. So we're going to follow the exact same procedure though. So we're going to multiply our first one by our first. So that's going to give us a 2x times 3x. And then we're going to multiply our first one by our second. So that will give us a 2x times 8. Then we're going to do it for the second term as well. So we can add here. We're going to do the second term by the first. So that's going to be 4 times 3x. And then we'll do the second term by the second term, which is going to give us 4 times 8. So now we can simplify all of these together. 2x times 3x will give you 6x squared, plus 2x times 8 would give us 16x. Then we have 4 times 3x will give us 12x. And finally, 4 times 8 is going to give us 32. And then we combine like terms. There's no other x squares and there's no other x to the 0 or no x. And so the only thing we have 2 of is just x. So we know that we need to now combine these two terms together. So we're going to get 6x squared plus 28x plus 32. And that is going to be the simplified and expanded answer of this binomial. The final one I want to show you is what if you have just basically a quadratic term. So you have a binomial squared. Let's expand this one out. You can follow a formula to do this, which is just a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And that's assuming that this is a plus b squared. But I'm going to show you the other way so that you can see how we're deriving this function. So what we're going to do is we need to actually times this by each other first. So we're going to do a 3x plus 2, and then it's going to be multiplied by a 3x plus 2. So this is equal to this up here. So now what we do is the exact same step we did before. We're going to do the first term by the first term. So 3 times 3 is 9, and x times x is x squared. So we're going to do 9x squared. Then plus, we're going to do the first term by the second term. So 2 times 3x would be 6x. And then we're going to do the second term. So the second term by the first term is the exact same thing we just did. So it's 2 by 3x, which gives us another 6x. And then we have the second term by the second term, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. So now you can see how we're getting this equation because we multiplied the a's together and we got this term. We multiplied the b's together at the end and got this term. And then we did this equation twice, which is how we got the 2 times a times b. And so then we add this together and we get 9x squared plus 12x plus 4. And if we just did this equation, then we would have gotten 3x squared plus 2 times 3x times 2 plus 2 squared. Simplify this out. 3x times 3x is going to be 9x plus 2 times 3 is 6 times 2 is 12, and then we have the x in there, so this would be 12x plus 2 squared is 4. So you can see, oh, I forgot my squared here because that would be x squared. So you can see that this and this are equal to each other. So no matter which way you would do it, you would come across the right answer. I hope this helps you in being able to expand out your quadratic equations.